Session 4, Family Therapy Over Time.
So you're recovering from a cold that's
Yes.
still bugging you, huh? And Marlon is
In Tennessee.
in Tennessee for work?
Yeah, for military training.
Oh, for military
He'll be
training.
back next week.
And what is he doing military training about? That's not part of his job, is it? Or is it-
Well, he's in the National Guard.
Oh, yes, so
and
that's why.
he has to go for training 2 weeks out of the year. So that's what he's doing.
Is there any concern about him going to
No.
Iraq? No?
No,
Okay.
he moved over to base safety, so his chances of going are very slim. He already did his time overseas.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, when he was in security forces. And it was at the beginning of the war. He was over there for just like 4 months. He got lucky, so he doesn't think he'll have to go back over there.
And what does he learn in the military training? Do you know?
Well, right now he's a staff sergeant. Yeah, he's a staff sergeant. He moved up, so I'm not sure what he's learning about this, but it's all staff sergeants. So I'll have to find out what they're teaching him.
Okay. Well, I know that we planned that he wouldn't be here today. And you're on your way to soccer tournament.
Volleyball.
Oh, volleyball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I see these things.
I know, everyone thinks it's soccer.
You
Yeah,
know,
she wears them down there.
Well, in some
Until
ways,
she plays.
volleyball's a lot cooler, I think, really. So
Yeah.
I need to remember that. So tell me how things have been this week, Jennifer.
She has been gone most of the time. She left, when did you leave?
On Thursday.
She left Thursday morning and went to her grandmother's house in Aurora and was there until Monday. So she just got back on Monday. And then last night she watched the baby for me because my son had a doubleheader for baseball. So we really haven't,
So you haven't had much time.
right,
And
we
then my
haven't.
friend stayed the night last night.
Yeah, I let her have a friend spend the night last night.
So does that mean that you all didn't really have a chance to do your homework?
Well, you know, I thought about, you know, you said to make a list, and I thought about it mentally, and so
So you did your homework in your mind, then we can
Right.
talk about it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And how about the issue of spending special time with Alexa? Was there time for that?
No, because my dad's gone, so when he's gone, my mom has to do everything by herself.
Yeah.
And my brother
Does
has
that mean you get pressed into service?
no, it's just my sister has ballet, my brother has baseball, and then there's the baby.
Yeah.
And
So
you have
she has
volleyball.
to help out with the baby. Yeah. When yeah, and then she had a volleyball game Monday night. I forgot about that. So
Yeah, every Monday and Wednesday.
so there really was no time for us to
And
even.
I have piano lessons before I come here
Really?
Yeah,
How
we're
long have you
busy.
been playing the piano?
for a couple of years.
Do you like it? Yeah.
She's been doing it for like 4 years. She's really good at it.
Really?
4 years. I thought it was like 2.
No, it's been like 4 years.
So
She's really good at it too, and she likes it. She
Do you
enjoys it.
practice?
well, I haven't practiced. Well, I was at my grandma's house, and then I had a game Monday, so I didn't really practice this week.
But usually you would.
Yeah, she
That
sits
takes
down
discipline.
often. Yeah,
Yeah.
she sits down often at the piano and plays.
Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you.
Really good. Volleyball and piano. That's terrific. And you have a really busy household, I understand.
Yes.
You have all these children involved in all these things. And then Marlon takes off, and so here
Right.
you are. But let's just then use it as an opportunity to talk some more about trying to clarify the punishment situation. Because one thing that seemed clear to me last time was that you were unclear, and you were pretty unclear too.
About how long it was gonna last.
So everybody knew there'd been a problem with trust and honesty, and with you wanting more freedom and needing to earn back your parents' trust and how to do that. And so I think, you know, I spoke some with you about let's try to figure out some real specific concrete things, and I spoke to you some about, okay, how can we help you earn your parents' trust back? And if you are able to do that, then I will help you negotiate some freedoms with your parents. But those two things go together, earning their trust and being honest, and you being clear, and then the freedom comes with being responsible. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Is everybody on the same page? Okay. So to me, it seems like, since we're at the halfway point, I've been thinking about, what are the themes in terms of what we're working on. And a major one is this honesty and being trustworthy, and you growing up and wanting to do more things, and how to handle that in a busy household with a lot of children. And the other one that seems like it's been relevant, you've brought up, and it's come up in several different ways, is fathers and grandfathers getting cut off from their kids, and that hurting the children's feelings, and how to kind of make sure that these fathers and grandfathers can continue to be connected to the children that they love. So those are the two themes that I've been thinking about that seem important. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
I guess that now that I'm thinking about it, there's a third one. The third one is this multi-generational mothers and daughters having a real hard time together, and the two of you really wanting to make that change, because you don't want your daughter to be alienated from you. And I think that you all have a lot of closeness and love. You just don't have, in some ways, some time and good communication between you. And if we could help get that pointed in the right direction, I'd be optimistic that you could change this problem so it doesn't keep going, So those would be the three themes that seem relevant to me. Am I missing anything, or you think that's right, Alexa? Yeah? Jennifer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. And I told Marlon last time that if there was anything he wanted to, send me through you to, did he say anything? Is he just off doing his thing?
Yeah, he just left on, when did he leave, Alexa?
I don't know, I wasn't here.
Monday morning.
Okay.
And he drove.
There just hasn't been time.
Yeah, he drove down there. And
okay. So whatever we talk about or come up with will be subject to comment and agreement by Marlon. So
Okay.
we'll pretend like he's sitting over in the chair, there in the chair. We'll try to figure out what he thinks, and then you can find out.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to start with the grounding issue?
Well,
I'm off punishment.
no, I didn't say you were off punishment. See, there's the
wait.
confusion.
Okay, wait.
I
This is
gave her
interesting.
phone back, her cell phone back.
Okay.
But I didn't tell you you were off punishment. I told you you could have your phone back, and that I would see how things go with her cell phone. And she has this thing with her cell phone that she'll take her charger upstairs, and then she'll, use her phone but have the charger plugged in. That way her battery doesn't go dead. And then she won't bring it back downstairs because I don't like her to keep her cell phone in her room overnight. And I told her, she has to make sure she brings it down. And the past 2 nights, she's brought it back downstairs. When I woke up in the morning, it was where it was supposed to be.
Okay.
So
let's say, I'll make a new thing for our chart, but I'm just going to use this paper tonight because
Okay.
it's too hard otherwise. So I want to try to clarify what these different things mean. And it seems like, some are bigger punishments and some are smaller. So why don't we try to talk through, and, you pitch in and say what you think too, Alexa. So there's grounding. And I actually was pretty unclear, based on the incident last week, what grounding meant.
it was everything. It was she
So-
couldn't talk to her
But
friends on.
It's true, except for that then, wasn't there, you had let her go walking with a friend?
That was my best friend came into town with her daughter.
So you made an exception.
Right, I made an exception because my friend was in town from out of town,
I see.
and they went for a walk, her
I
and
see.
her brother.
Was that Bria?
Yeah,
And
so
my
she,
other friend Amber came over.
Okay.
yeah, Amber came over her friend Amber came over to braid our 7-year-old's
She
hair.
came over when Bria was here too.
Did she come over that night? Oh yeah, she
Yeah,
came
we
over to
all
see Bria
outside.
because her and
Okay.
Bria know each other.
So here's what I want to. So I understand there's always can be exceptions,
Right.
but I think just so it's clear to Alexa or any of the other children, I think if you make exceptions, I would make a big deal about now we're making an exception. The reason is that Bria's here, and she usually isn't here. So, do you understand?
Right.
So it doesn't get
to make
confusing.
it to say it, actually say it out
yeah,
loud
to say it
her.
absolutely.
Okay.
To say it, yes.
Did you think that it was just an exception, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Because Bria was there.
Oh, okay. But I should still say it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I think you should. So grounding means what? Does it mean Alexa not being able to go out with her friends?
Not being able to go out with them, not being able to.
Does it mean friends can come over?
The friends didn't come over until.
Okay. So you can't go out with your friends. You can't have friends over. Is that right? And what else?
Can't talk on the phone. Can't
No
go on
phone?
the computer.
No phone or computer games? Is that what?
No, just no computer.
No phone or computer. I mean, if it happened during the school year, you'd have to let her use the computer.
Right. Oh yeah.
But no
Right, yeah.
computer for fun,
Right.
right? What else does it mean?
That's it.
Is that it? That's pretty restrictive. That's pretty like lockdown, right? Right? Yeah, but when I heard you talking about it, I think one of the problems is when it doesn't have an endpoint, then it goes on for so long, and before you know it, well, yeah, okay, you can see this friend, and it sounded like you were starting to see your friends. Was that not right?
She did that one time when the friend was in town, and then.
Well, I don't mean Bria. Darn, my pen's running out. I need a pen. So my point is just that it be really clear and maybe have the most strict thing a reasonable amount of time so you make sure you actually can do it. Mm-hmm. Do you know that you don't just get so tired of it that you start having this exception and that exception? I don't mean Bria.
Right.
I mean, it just goes on for so long that everybody kind of gets weary.
Right.
So, maybe big grounding, short of like a federal crime, might be typically be how long do you think? And then you can still, for example, she could be not be able to use her phone, but start to be able to have friends in.
Right.
Do you follow me?
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe the first week or the first 2 weeks, and you and Marlon decide based on if, I don't think you're ever going to do something like this again, but just in case, based on what the infraction was, what's the length of time, that you really can supervise all this being true. Mm-hmm. And then if she really starts to earn your trust back, and you're spending more time rather than less with her, because probably when she's done something like that, she needs more of your attention instead of less, even though you're mad and it's hard. Mm-hmm. Just a parenting principle, Then you could say, okay, now friends can come in, still can't use your phone, still can't go to the friend's house. Do you see? You'd have a kind of stepwise thing. And then if that all goes well and you're starting to trust her more, then, what would be the next thing that you would want back, Alexa?
After what?
So you're on total lockdown, which isn't going to happen again, but what would be the first thing that you would like to earn back out of those things?
My phone.
So I would think she'd want to go somewhere, be able to go somewhere.
Would you rather have your phone back than have a friend in or be able to go out?
I don't know. I just like having my phone.
Yeah, that's number one on the list. When you said the things that Alexa likes, yeah, that is number one on her list is her phone.
So maybe if it was really a big issue, like what has happened, you might commit yourself, and you and Marlon have to be clear that you really could do it, because it takes a lot of supervision to, for example, 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, if there have been no infractions, because if there's been infractions, then it gets extended, right? Because you just want to be clear. But let's say there haven't been any, then she would earn 1 week of having a friend in. And let's say that went well. Then the next week, she would get her phone back. Now, there's something about the phone that if she doesn't bring it back downstairs, you don't like it? That's part of your rule?
Yeah, I don't want her to have a phone in her room.
Okay. So what happens if she doesn't do what you ask?
I usually take it away from her.
For how long?
It just varies. I guess it just varies.
So I'm trying to help you with this, because I think Alexa needs more structure.
Right. And it's easy for me to take it away because I can put a code in and lock it, and she can't access it. So
what
it's not
do you
that I
think
really
if
take it
she
away from her.
forgets or she doesn't forget and
I think
uses
what
it?
happens is she falls asleep and she doesn't feel like bringing it back downstairs.
Okay.
So when she gets tired, she doesn't feel like bringing it back downstairs. She ends up falling asleep.
So
And forgets.
is that worth losing it for a day, or is that too much or too little?
I would think it would be too little.
So you want...
I don't want to ground her for 2 weeks from it, but...
Well, what about 2 days?
Yeah, that would be good.
If you forget one night, you lose it for 48 hours, then you get it back. And as long as you don't forget, you keep it.
Right.
I think the important thing is that we teach our children things that are true in the outside world. So when Alexa's a pharmacist, and she needs to do what, to fill a prescription or to respond to a doctor or whatever, even if she might not feel like it, or she's tired, still needs to do it. So you want to sort of instill the principles that allow her to be successful when she's an adult.
Right.
So, I don't know, I sort of like your thought about as long as she is responsible and brings the phone down, then she keeps the phone if she's not grounded for it. But if for whatever reason she either uses it or she falls asleep or whatever, she loses it for 2 days and then she gets it back. So everybody gets the second and third and fourth chance, But you're clear about what the rules are, and they don't involve like yelling and... if you have something you're automatically going to do, it helps to keep from all the bickering and anger, and then feeling bad about having done that. And
yeah, I think that's a lot of the problem is I feel bad when I get mad at her and I yell at her, and then I feel bad, and then I'll give her a phone back. I won't make it last as long.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I do. It does make sense.
So we'll talk about this today, and you'll get your chance in a minute, Alexa, and then I'll try to put something together for you so that it's on paper. And then Marlon, you can talk about the principles with Marlon, see if he buys what we're saying, and if he has any other suggestions. But if you both know what the rules are, then there's much less need. And even if you're mad, perhaps you can go in the bathroom for a minute or something. But she probably isn't learning that much from you. Whatever you're saying to her, she'd learn a lot more this way.
Okay.
Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
All right. So if she forgets, then she loses it for 2 days, and then you give it back to her, and it's just straightforward. It sounds easier as I realize, but okay. So there's the grounding, there's having the friend in the next week, then getting the phone back, and then the final thing is, because I think it's the most freedom, is going out with friends, right? And she would earn that back in another week. So this is a serious grounding situation where she's getting progressively more freedom over 5-week time. Right? So that's a pretty long thing, although you were pretty upset when you came in here about what happened. So something like this might be appropriate. But if it was a lesser infraction, then you could do any of these things. You know, you could take this away for a week, but she had all these other privileges. Or, you know, try to match what the discipline is to how serious it is that what she did. Does this make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
And trying to, at the same time, if she's having a hard time, be absolutely strict about this, but try to spend some special positive time with her. So what often happens, understandably, is you're so mad that you don't get any communication going, and then this isn't very structured and is too vague. I mean, I think that happens with parents all the time. So trying to reverse that. And I think if you all can do this, then Alexa really learns how to be trustworthy and how to be responsible, and then she gets more and more freedom because she's earned it, you know. And I would be even more interested in what she actually does more than what she says, although what you say is important, but sometimes talk is cheap, you know. And what matters more in the world really is what we do. So Alexa, I'd be really interested in hearing tell me some more about the freedoms you would like to eventually earn with your parents. Because I wonder, is part of what happened that you felt like your parents were strict, and so you felt like you ought to be able to, for example, spend time with Jordan or whatever, so you were going to make that happen even though you knew they didn't approve of it? Is that true, or?
Well, it's not that I wanted to spend time with him. Well, I don't know. I just wanted to go to his house.
Yeah, she thought we were too strict about that. She told us that. She thought we were too strict.
Is that right? Okay. So you would like to be able to spend time with Jordan. And that's still true?
I don't see why he can come over our house whenever he wants, but I can't go over there. Even if his mom's home, I can't go over there.
And why is that?
Because I'm not there. We're not there to supervise. She's a girl, and you know, we don't know what goes on over there. He has an older brother, and they have friends over and cousins over, and you know, we don't know what goes on over there. Even if his mom is home, I would have to get to know his mom first, which I've met her.
Right. Right.
Because was that last week that you walked home with him?
Right.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah. And that's when I met his mom. And she seems like a nice person, but it's just a hard thing to let her go over to another boy's house.
Right. I understand. I just wanted you to explain it to her.
I've told her that though, because you know, we told her, you know, we don't know what they do, if they drink, if they do drugs, or she says they don't, but I just don't want her to be introduced to anything like that.
Well, I think also, so there's several points. One is you wanting to earn your parents' trust back so that ultimately they trust your judgment and believe what you said. So there's been these incidents of you going to Jordan's house and you and Jordan having sex and these things that upset your parents. And so now we're in the process of trying to bring you back so that you earn your parents' trust. And right now, it would take some time for you to have to get to know Jordan's mother to make sure there was supervision and make sure that they weren't going to the house by themselves and that kind of thing. So I understand that. After the grounding is really over and you've earned your way back to your parents allowing you to do things, how would you like it to be, Alexa? What do you think is fair for 15-year-old Alexa to be able to do?
Everything that I do now, talk on the phone, go outside.
She just wants to do it when she wants to do it. She doesn't like to be told no.
Well, nobody does. I don't blame her for that. I don't like to be told no. I can understand that.
And I don't want her doing it all the time. You know, she's being out every day is not okay.
I'm not out every day.
Yeah, that's because we don't allow you to. But you know, she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that because she's 15. She wants to be with her friends every day, and I don't want her out every day. She needs to be at home too.
And how much do you think when things are in good shape, how often do you think it's okay for her to be with her friends?
Like a couple times a week.
Couple.
Do you mean during the week or on the weekend or both?
Both. You know, in the summertime. During school,
Can't do
she can't do much. None of the kids are really allowed to do much during school. They can't hang out with their friends. And sometimes their friends can come over. Jordan came over during the week, during school, but...
And on the weekend?
On the weekends, yes. On the weekends is when they can do more things, but I like them to concentrate on school during the week.
Okay. Does that seem fair to you, Alexa?
No.
Okay.
And my son's not allowed to play PlayStation during the week either, and that's not fair to him either. But you know, in the summertime they can, but they just don't understand. I try to keep them focused and keep their mind on school, and because when they start hanging out with their friends, then they'll forget to do homework. And
Even if I'm done with my homework, I can't go outside though.
yeah, I don't know. I just don't like her to during the week. I like her to just...
Can you talk on the phone after you're done with your work? Yeah. And going outside, do you have friends in your neighborhood that you could see?
Yeah, I can go to this Amber's house because there's a park that I always want to go to, but I can't do that either.
Can you do that on the weekend? Yeah. What age do you think she would have to be able to do anything during the week?
I don't know. Maybe 16.
When's your birthday, Alexa?
March 11th.
Because she wants to start working when she's 16, so then I'm going to have to...
start working now.
Yeah, she's just having a hard time finding. There's not a lot of places to hire at 15. But by the time she's 16, she should be able to get a job, and she's going to have to, you know, work during the week, a couple nights during the week when she's in school. So then I'll have to allow her to do that, but there just isn't much time anyways. She has a bedtime. She still has a bedtime. A lot of her friends
Yeah, I
don't.
don't see why, because I go to bed when I'm supposed to.
Yeah, but if I don't give, she doesn't understand. If I don't give her a bedtime, then she'll end up going to bed later and later, because that's what I did when I was in high school.
Yeah, that's you. The latest I go to bed is 10:30 on a school night.
Yeah, she has to be in bed by 10:30. But when you don't have...
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Alexa, are you saying even if your mom didn't say anything to you, you would go to bed by 10:30?
Yeah, because I know I have to get up early, and I know I'm going to be tired.
But we don't like the kids to be awake when we go to bed, usually, especially during the week.
And when do you go to bed?
Usually around that time, 10:30, 11 o'clock. My husband goes to bed much earlier because he gets up earlier in the morning.
So I wonder if this is something that you could, you know, an early thing that you could think about, giving her a little more freedom on. Because if it's true that she really takes care of it and is responsible, that'd be something that you didn't have to supervise. Now, if she started staying up until 11 or 11:30 or whatever, then you'd have to say, okay, you're not ready to manage this yourself yet. You know, I need to give you a bedtime again.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Do you understand what I mean? You don't want to regulate things that actually
Are happening anyways.
well, not just happening anyways, but she actually can manage herself. Do you know? The things that you can really manage yourself in a mature kind of way, be nice for your mom not to have to regulate those. But you want to be careful what those are. It just seems like bedtime might be something that you could see what you think. She says she does it herself.
Yeah, she does.
Spend a few weeks and just, don't say anything to her about it. See how it goes. Would that be helpful, Alexa? Because the less things you have to tell her what to do, it's easier on you, and then you don't get into an argument, and you don't get mad because she's telling you what to do.
Yeah, she doesn't feel so controlled.
Right.
That's a lot of the problem. She feels like she's...
Right.
I don't know why I can't have my phone in my room either when I go to sleep. I don't understand that. I can see if it was during the week at school, like Monday through Thursday, and I couldn't have my phone in my room, but I don't see why I can't now. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I just don't want her to have access to be able to, when she's asleep, I don't want her friends calling her at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Why?
Or her boyfriend calling her at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I just don't think you
free
need...
though. And
No, it has nothing to do with that. I just don't think that your friends need to be talking on the phone that late.
I don't get it still.
So probably some things you just won't get, I agree. But so we might agree that you could go ahead and see if she can manage her own bedtime. See how that goes. How old would she have to be for you to think that it was okay for her to manage her cell phone on weekends or in the summer?
See, that I don't know, because the whole thing with the cell phone, I still don't like the idea with teenagers having cell phones. I just think
But
it
she
just
has
gives...
one,
Yeah,
right?
she has one. I regulate it more than her friends' parents do. And I think you have to. You have to know who your kids are talking to on the phone and, know what's going on. And I don't want her talking all hours of the night.
So is that a thing about as long as she's living with you, you're probably not going to be wild about the cell phone in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I mean, by the time she becomes a senior, I probably won't be.
Is that
probably
a
won't
year
be
from
as-
now? You're going to be a junior?
She's going to be a
Gonna
sophomore.
Ah, okay.
But see, she just wants all the freedoms of an adult, and she's just not an
How is
adult
that
yet.
the freedom of an adult having a cell phone in your room?
Well, Alexa, I don't know. It's just...
Well, I think it is actually. I think making decisions for yourself about when you go to bed, about who you talk to when, and that kind of stuff is more adult-like. And
But she knows who I'm going to be talking to, though.
right, she just doesn't want you to talk between 12 and 9 or something like that. And so she doesn't trust right now that you wouldn't, and it sounds like you think people probably would call you. Is that right?
Well, usually I don't stay on the phone that late anyways. The latest I'll stay on the phone is till like 2.
So why do you want your phone in your room, though? Why is it so important for you to be able to have your phone in your room?
I don't know, I just want it in my room.
Yeah,
And people
see.
text me in the morning and stuff.
Yeah, but you can wake up in the morning and go get it. See, she can't explain it to me. A lot of times when she wants to do something a certain way, like have the cell phone in her room, she can't explain to me why she wants it. And I don't know if it's just because she just wants to have the freedom and feel like
Of
she's more
course.
grown.
Of course, because she wants to be able to talk to her friends whenever they call and text. She doesn't have to explain it. I mean, I think we sort of know what's going on. But I do think again, that's a freedom that you want. And my suggestion is that you really work towards earning your parents' trust. And then I think in 6 months or certainly 12 months, you go to your parents and you say, look how good I've been about my grades, about being honest with you, about telling you where I am, about, being responsible about this, that, and the other. I really want the freedom to have my cell phone. Then you've got an argument, You're sort of putting together a case about what a good kid you are and how responsible you are, and this is a freedom you want. And then I think, when there are things that what has recently happened where you all are on the outs with each other, it ain't going to happen. But I think that's how you do it, as opposed to waiting until you're 21 or whatever. Maybe your mom thinks you're 40 and then she'll let you have your cell phone in your room or whatever. What do you think, Alexa?
Well, I think that she just doesn't want me to have my phone in my room because when she goes to sleep, then she can't listen to what I'm talking about.
I don't listen to what you're talking about.
Sometimes you do. And I
excuse
think
me.
I have to put my phone downstairs so she can read my text in the morning.
I don't read her text though. That's what she thinks. I mean, once in a while, if I grab your phone, if your phone keeps beeping, and I'll look at it, but I don't sit there and just read her text. And I can't listen to you talk on your cell phone. It's not like I can pick up
Why?
the other end. You know, there's not another phone to pick up and listen to like the house phone.
So it's a privacy issue, Alexa? And how do you think it should be?
Well, I just want to have more privacy.
Okay.
And I think she has a lot of privacy. She can go to her room and she shuts
and
the door.
And the computer thing too. She has to have my password, my brother's password.
Yeah.
I don't see why.
So,
Like, we have a MySpace page, and she has my password and my brother's.
I just like to check periodically that, you know, there's not adults that are trying to email them.
But I don't add people to my friend list if I don't know who it is.
Yeah, and I just like to make sure of that. It's not that I don't trust that you're not going to add someone. I just, want to make sure that you don't make a mistake.
Yeah, I know,
You're
but
still a kid. There's a
Yes.
lot of bad things that happen, on MySpace and people emailing kids, and she just doesn't understand. She doesn't understand how dangerous the computer and the internet can be. Like, I would never let my kids have an internet in their room. It has to be out in the open. I think that's just a big mistake that parents make. They don't know what your kids are
The other
doing.
day, you were reading Anthony's messages, or from his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't get it.
so I think, again, this is an age thing, The younger, say, I don't know what to say about Anthony, and poor
Like,
thing
if
isn't here.
Well, Anthony talks on the phone. Like, if I tell Anthony, like, sometimes Anthony will be on the phone with a girl or something, and Mom will be listening. And then I'll tell
If
Anthony.
I happen to pick up on the phone and he's on the phone,
She just
and-
stays on.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'd like to hear what my kids talk about.
Sometimes she knows that he's on the phone, and she just picks it up. And I tell Anthony, he'll say, "Why is she listening to me?" That's your phone. Mine is off. And you're talking about me.
Okay, so my point is, these things should happen, as you get older, you should get more privacy. And you should get more privacy when you're more responsible. And so maybe Anthony's too young. I don't want to pick on poor Anthony because he isn't here and I don't even know him. Mm-hmm. But he's much younger. So your mom's naturally going to really supervise him much more closely. But, I do think you should be able to earn more privacy. But it has to come, and I'll help you. I'm working on her. But it has to come with you really holding up your end of the deal. You letting her know where you are, you being honest, you doing things that are trustworthy. And then I think, probably 15, I don't know about the internet. Let's leave that alone, but let's talk about the phone. Not listening in when you're talking and not reading your texts. So.
Well, I don't care if I'm like sitting there and I'm talking on the phone and like she hears what I'm talking about and she asks me something. I don't care about that.
Okay. So
But I just don't like if I'm on the house phone or something and then she picks up the phone and then she just stays on the phone. I don't like that.
I don't do that though. You don't hardly. You're not hardly on the house phone.
Well, I use the house phone like a couple of times during the day because I can't use my cell phone till after 7, but I can text because I have unlimited texting.
Uh-huh.
But she doesn't do that anymore. Well, I
She
don't
doesn't
think she does.
read your texting.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I know she doesn't pick up the phone when I'm on it. I just know she does it to my brother.
Okay. So let's, it's good for you to advocate for your brother, but let's focus on you because you're older, and I think you do deserve more freedom. We just have to make sure you're being responsible matches how much freedom you get. And I think you have a mother who loves you very much, and she really doesn't want something bad to happen to you. And she kind of worries about the world, and you're right that some parents are just too loosey-goosey. But what's harder for you is to let go a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then when something happens, like what's happened, then you really freak out because, see, I knew. Mm-hmm. And I think we got to get this organized so that you see a way to earn more freedom by being more responsible and trustworthy. And we help your mom be less anxious and have faith in you. Those two things need to go together, you know. And in essence, if you do anything that you know probably isn't going to fly very well, then it's hard for you to argue. Of course they're going to clamp down on you. But, you know, I definitely think it's important for us to figure out ways for you to get more freedom by, you know, being the good person that you are. And they're going to, I mean, there's inevitably going to be stuff where you think your mom is kind of being stupid, but, you know, that's how mothers are. That you probably do the same thing to your daughter. But other things, maybe we can help her back off a little bit if you're really handling yourself responsibly. We need to see what your dad says, because I don't want to sort of get this all organized and he has other feelings about it. Both your
Well, I know
parents
the
have to
internet.
agree.
He's
Well, I didn't.
He
you
wouldn't
notice
even.
I'm not touching the internet
Yeah,
thing. I
he
think the
wouldn't
internet
even-
is too complicated
Yeah.
for us to handle in 6 sessions, and we only have 2 more after this. So I think we should leave that one alone.
Okay.
But maybe we can develop the general principles, and you'll have a sense of how to earn your way out of the doghouse, and what the different freedoms are, and what you can do in 10th grade, you know, and what you can look forward to in 11th grade and 12th grade. And I do think you have a good argument for more freedom as long as you've really held up your end of the deal. You know, and it's always the hardest with the oldest, you know, because your parents aren't used to yet, you know, see that you can grow up and do well. So they're fearful, and, you know, your Aubrey's going to have it easier than you. You're paving the way.
I
You
don't think so. No, not Amari and Aubrey. Maybe me and Anthony, but not those two.
They're not going to have it easier than you?
No.
Because Marlon, he's, you know, he's good with her, and he's strict on her, but he's much stricter on his too.
Yeah, because those are.
Because he
his
feels
daughters.
like, you know, he came into her life when she was 5 years old. Were you 5?
4 or 5.
Yeah, she was like 4, I think. And so he feels like he can't, you know, clamp down on her like he would his own biological daughter, even though he treats her like his daughter.
Well, it's a long ways. She's only 2, right?
Right.
So I still say your parents are going to learn stuff from you.
Right.
And it will help your siblings, which will mostly be satisfying to you and sometimes be frustrating. As in when I was, you know. But let's try to sort of work something out that even if it doesn't seem completely what you want, at least it's clear and you have a sense of how you can work your way out of it, and what consists of being a problem and what isn't. Like knowing that if you walk home with Jordan, that's going to be a violation of your grounding, and then you're going to be back into one of these things, for example. And it just being clear. So I could try to write these things up for next time, or maybe even send it to you, so you could talk about it with Marlon, so that when you come back, you know, will he be here next time? Because
Yeah.
next time's not for 3 weeks.
Is it 3 or 2?
It's 3,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm going on vacation. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he will be here.
Okay, good. So maybe I will do that. I may email it to Judy, who can get it to you guys, and see what you think. And I'm happy to hear if there's something else that you care about or that you see that we should sort of put into this contract. So it'll be a contract for you to earn back your parents' trust and more freedoms. And how do we make those two things go together? And how can you look forward to more freedoms as you get older?
And I do think I have some freedoms that my friends don't.
Is that
like
right?
my friend Amber, she just got a cell phone. And my other friend, she can't have a MySpace page. And then most of my friends that are freshmen, I got to go to prom with my friend CJ. He goes to another school, and most of my friends' parents didn't agree that I should go to prom and stuff because they didn't think I was old enough, but my mom and dad let me go.
And why do you think they let you go?
I don't know. Well, because he's a good kid and they trust him.
All right.
And he's in top teens with me.
Ah, okay. So you do good stuff and they really trusted him. All right. So that's cool. I mean, you do have some, you have to give your parents some credit for trusting you in some ways. But things have gotten kind of off track in the last period of time. So I'm going to do this, and what I want you to do is think about it more. I want you to really try to be clear about these things. And I'll get them to you, but I'm sure you can remember them. Really try to be clear with Alexa about them and consistent. And then additionally, try to spend your time. Try when Marlon comes back, if he can spot you some time so the two of you could do something, preferably twice in the next 3 weeks, but I'll take once.
Oh, no, we definitely can.
I really want to increase
Things
your
are going to slow down
communication.
because baseball season is going to end this weekend, so
Okay.
it'll be a little less hectic around the house.
So how do you feel about this, Alexa?
Good.
Yeah, okay.
And I also have another freedom. My friends, see CJ, he drives. He's 17, and I can go in the car with him.
Wow.
But my friends, their parents don't trust them to ride with other people. Like, I can ride with CJ. And my friend Amber has a boyfriend named Dante, and I've rode with him places before when Amber was with. Like, we went bowling, and then we went to Wendy's one time. So I can do stuff like that.
Wow.
As long
Okay.
as my mom knows where I am and I'm home before midnight if I'm with Dante.
That's
Well,
great.
she's only done that once with
No, I think
Dante.
it was twice.
Was it? And then
That's great.
CJ, she rides with him to top team meetings and stuff.
Yeah,
So
and barbecues that we have and stuff.
yeah.
Terrific. So she really trusts him and she trusts you with him. But that's good. I mean, I'm glad to hear. Maybe there are other things too that you feel like you really are, have your parents' trust. But some of these other things we need to work on some. Okay? All right, so I'll be in touch with you about this stuff. You'll be working on it, on being clear and structured and spending some positive time. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, good. Well, really great to see you guys.
Okay,
So
good
we'll
seeing you
see you in
too.
several weeks, and I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Okay.
Susan, can you tell our viewers some more about the document or behavior contract that you've developed for this family?
So I'm trying to work with the parents and with Alexa to organize an approach that really works for them. And actually between sessions 4 and 5, I spent some time writing it up in draft form, organizing the different parts, putting a space for examples, and then I sent it by email to the parents because Marlon wasn't in session 4, so I wanted him to get a chance to see it before we met, and I wanted them to think about it. And then to balance things, I also sent an email to Alexa saying that I was working on the contract with her parents, that I hoped she was doing well, and that I would look forward to her input in session 5.
And can you talk about the document that you sent them, the kinds of things that you included?
Sure. I really tried to organize it around linking Alexa's privileges to her responsibilities. I used the parents and Alexa's language and developed 3 categories of behavior, category that were problems, category 1, 2, and 3, and then what is an example of that kind of infraction, and then what was going to be the discipline. So for example, perhaps Alexa comes in a little late. That might be an example of a category 1 infraction. And for that, she loses her cell phone for 24 hours, something like that. And then a medium, and then a large. And so I laid that out in the document for discussion in session 5.
How are they doing on the process in terms of reviewing the contract and coming in prepared? Are they motivated?
They seem very motivated. You saw in an earlier session, at the end of the session, Marlon said, "This is really what my family needs," and he's very engaged. And I think that Jennifer's genuinely worried because her relationship with her own mother has been so troubling, and she really would like to have a better relationship. So my sense is that they're all quite motivated. Alexa doesn't want to move to Florida with her biological father, and I think genuinely wants to have a better relationship, but she also wants to have some freedoms and to be able to see her boyfriend Jordan.
Yeah. Sometimes there's some resistance, and I don't know if I necessarily like that word, but resistance when we get specific in families.
Well, I think the resistance in this family, if we use that, the difficulty, the challenge for this family, I sense is that their family is organized so that Marlon goes to work and Jennifer takes care of everything on the home front. And she's, I think, somewhat overwhelmed. So finding the time to really give Alexa what she needs is a challenge with a 2-year-old and the other children. And so I think that she's been just doing what comes to her, and they really need to be more thoughtful. I think Marlon's going to need to be probably a bit more helpful. He's a fabulous outside support. My guess is that it would be helpful for him to move in a bit closer to both Jennifer and Alexa.
Now, in this next session, you begin with a divided family again. Can you talk about how you made that decision?
Well, because we're putting the parents in charge, I wanted to make sure that Jennifer and Marlon, since I hadn't seen them in the last session, are fully on board with the way I'm organizing this discipline. Because if there's any difficulty, it's not going to work. And my sense, watch and see, but I think my sense is that they are fully on board. So that's why I'm using that part of the session to make sure they can tell me whatever they want to about the difficulties of enacting this contract, and then bring Alexa in to talk about it all together.
Good. Let's watch session 5.